All right, you guys, we have October number corner. So these up here are the notes. The notes are in the drive under number corner for grade 2. And here's Bridges notes on number corner for October. And the bold ones being the ones you should not skip is what they're advising. If you notice, calendar grid is not one of the bold ones. So that doesn't mean like skip doing calendar, but don't spend all your time on those calendar grid markers. Just do a quick, like this is what it is, move on. I will say my thoughts on the calendar grid. If you scroll down, calendar grid, again, I said don't spend a lot of time going through the markers, but do spend a bit of time discussing if the day that you are on is either odd or even. So for example, today is the 29th. So we would be discussing whether 29 is even or odd and how do we know. So maybe you want to make use of your magnetic tiles on that magnetic wall, or you want to use the Number Pieces app, and I put that link here if you like using something online for the kids. So then you would already have like, okay, October 1st is 1 square, and that is odd because it doesn't have a partner. Now October 2nd, right? So I would just keep this window up on my screen all month, and that way I can just add to it every day. So here is 2, but now if I go to the October 3rd, now we have odd. But October 4th, now we have even. Now October 5th, now we have odd. Now October 6th, now we have even. Blah, 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 blah. So when you get to the 29th, you'll be able to tell whether it's odd or even. Up to you how you want to work that, but trying to bring in the odd or even idea into your calendar grid time. Then they went to calendar collector. And saying that time is a big thing to talk about. And I had you collecting, that's what I was advising, skipping the collection of 5 minutes a day last month and just practicing counting by fives on the clock. And I'm saying do the same thing this month. And if you haven't already, go forward and backward around the clock, starting and stopping and switching how you do it, having them with their arms up and going 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, which is o'clock because there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, 24 hours in 1 day. And then you could have them going backwards. So counting by fives backwards on the clock. Or you could start at the 3 and say, okay, what are we starting at? Because we're not starting at 5, we're starting at 15 and then go onward. And right here, also writing in this month, adding on the idea of elapsed time. So you would show them the minute hand starting on the 12 and make it go to the 1 and say, okay, how much time has passed? Not just 1 minute, 5 minutes. Okay, what if my minute hand starts at the 3 and goes to the 4? How much time has passed? 5 minutes again, right? So you're working on going from number to number, but knowing how many minutes that is. So that's what I wrote right there. Then we have the time song that I just used, whether you want to use it or not. And I think I talked it through last time, but tick tock, it's time to learn about the clock. And then they'd have their arms up in the air, standing up, and then they'd go all the way around the circle and go 60 minutes in 1 hour, 24 hours in 1 day. And then on certain days, practice making special times, which we had last month too. The clock app from Math Learning Center could be used. The kids could be using them on their Chromebook. And what's really nice about it is it has geared clocks. So you wouldn't need to have them move their hour hand and minute hand freely. So let me show you what I mean. So the clock app, I was going to put that link for you. And if you're interested, I can have Katie Gallagher put this on for you guys on the Chromebooks. So I'm going to go down here. You can't see it, but if I click down here, the clock, I'm going to click geared hands. That's super important because now when they're making times, look at the hour hand moves for them and you can have them practicing making a time. Now let's say you said, okay, make 3 o'clock and they make what they think is 3 o'clock. Then they can press the digital time thing down here digital mode, and it'll tell them, like they can click it and see if they're right. So it's super cool. So that's the clock app. So I will put that link in here for you, just in case you want to use that. Done. All right. Let's go up here. If you go downward, computational fluency is another big hitter. And that one is, the focus is making 10 addition and break 10 subtraction fact strategies. So my idea there is to use your 10 frame display cards, and each day you do a couple cards and you have them practice making addition equations and a subtraction equation from the card that you show. So for example, if you show the 7 card, kids would write 7 plus 3 more gives you 10. And then what would the subtraction be? Well, if you had 10 dots, you did have 10 dots, but 3 are gone. So you only have 7 dots. So that's why I have 10 minus 3 equals 7. Okay? If you're interested in the Scout Them Out page for computational fluency later on in the month, this one links you right to that Scout Them Out page that deals with make 10 and break 10 facts. All right, then your one other big one is the number line up here, the number line. And the number line is where you're keeping track of tens. And every day you're adding on another 10 number to your number line. So the idea here in October is that you play Guess My Number with your kids, like maybe once a week or twice a week. And here, let's say this is your number line. You'd have 2 arrow cards or whatever you're going to use. You need 2 of something so that when they guess your number, you're going to put your arrow card up there. So let's say they guessed 250. And I say, oh, my number is less than 250. And I'd write the inequality there, less than 250. And I'd move my arrow card to 250. And then someone else goes, oh, is it 200? And then I go, oh, my number is greater than 200. So now I have written greater than 200 and I've moved another card here. So now they know my number is somewhere in between these 2 numbers. They're going to have to pick a number in between there. All right, so that's Guess My Number. Also take note that if you hit a century day, the multiples of 100, those PDF pages are here if you're interested in having them practice writing those big numbers and counting by tens on a worksheet. All right, that's Number Corner in a nutshell.